record this. So properties class, how it will help us is, let me show you. So this all we have seen, this all they explained very clearly. Please go through that. And sorry, map interface is done, map programs are done, everything, how hash map works internally we are done. So there is a comparable interface and comparator interface. These two are used for sorting purpose we'll use. So mainly people will ask a difference between comparable and comparator. So let me explain that, then we can move on. There are a lot of differences are there, but you can just go through the theory. So comparable provides a single sorting sequence. So in other words, we can sort the collection on the basis of single elements, such as, for example, you take a person, so he has ID, name, and price. So you can sort based on any one, either by ID or by name or price. That's a comparable interface will provide a single sorting. Basically, sorting purpose these are used. So they both are interfaces only. Comparable is interface, comparator also interface. Both are interfaces. So comparator provides a multiple sorting sequence. See the difference. Comparable provides the single sorting sequence, but comparator provides the multiple sorting sequence. So you can sort multiple element space. That's a comparator. And so comparable affects the original class. The actual class is modified. The comparator doesn't affect the original class. The actual class is not modified. The actual class is not modified. That's the comparable and comparator. So comparable provides compare to method to sort the elements. Comparator provides compare method to sort the elements. So comparable is present in the java.lang package. Comparator is present in the java.util package. So we can sort the list elements of comparable type. So collections.sort, you can provide the list. So you can sort the list collection elements using collections.sort and give that list. Automatically it will sort all the list. So we can sort the list of elements comparator type by collections.sort. You have to give the list and also comparator name, which comparator you want to sort. So you can give that also. So this is the how to sort. Both are sorting purpose. So group of elements are there, how you can sort. So that's what this comparable and comparator help us. And so the difference between array list and vector, you can, so just to quickly go through this. Array list is a not synchronized. So vector is synchronized. Array list increments 50% of current array size if the number of elements exceeds from its capacity. So vector increments 100%, means double the array size if the total number of elements exceeds then its capacity. So array list is not a legacy class. It is introduced in JDK 1.2, but vector is a legacy class. That means old, from the beginning it is there when the Java released. So array list is fast because it is non-synchronized. Vector is slow because it is synchronized. In multi-threading environment, it holds the other threads in runnable or non-runnable state until current thread releases the lock of the object. So array list uses the iterator interface to traverse the elements. A vector uses the iterator interface or enumeration interface to traverse the elements. So what is the difference between collection and collections? So many people will confuse. Collection is an interface. Collections is a utility class in collection framework. So collection is an interface in Java. Collections is a class in Java. Collection is a base interface. Collections is a utility class in Java. Collection defines methods that are used for data structures that contain the objects. Collections define the methods that are used for operations like access, find, and the collection. So collection interface has only abstract methods, but collections consists only static methods. So collection interface contains abstract methods, but collections class contains only static methods. So next, what is the difference between arrays and collection? So arrays are fixed in size, but collections are dynamic in size. So with respect to memory, arrays are not good to use, but with respect to memory, collections are better to use. So with respect to performance, it is better to use arrays, but with respect to performance, collections are not good to use. Arrays can hold only homogeneous elements. Homogeneous means same kind of data you can store. But in the collections, you can store homogeneous and heterogeneous elements also. Both elements you can store. Arrays don't have ready-made methods, but collections have ready-made data structures and methods, which makes collection more easier, user-friendly. Right? You are seeing many methods are there in the collection, right? But arrays you don't have, that we have seen already. Arrays can hold both primitive and wrapper objects, but collection can hold only wrapper objects, only objects. Class cast exception occurs in collection, but not in arrays. We have iterators for going through the collection, but we don't have iterators for arrays. Java returns arrays rather than collection in most of the operations due to performance issues. So these are the main differences. At least you give few differences. Okay, that's good enough for us. Next, last one, properties class. What is properties class? So properties class contains key value pair both as a string. It also contains key value pair, but both are strings only. So this class is available in java.util package. So this is the subclass of hash table class. That means this is a child class of hash table. Hash table is the parent. So it can be used to get property value based on the property key. You give the key, you will get the value of that key with this properties class methods you can use. So the properties class provides methods to get the data from properties file and to store the data into that properties file. That's the main purpose of properties class. So what is the properties class purpose? To get the data from properties file and to store the data in the properties file. The advantage of properties file is, so recompilation is not required. If the information is changed from the properties file, you don't need to modify in your classes where you're using this properties file data. So you can change only in the properties file and it will reflect automatically in the classes where you're using data. So that's the main advantage with the properties file. So the constructors of properties class is the default constructor, parameter is a constructor. What are the methods are there? Load method, you can load the reader object, you can load the input stream object. So you can load from XML file also, input stream object you can give. So this is the main important where is in property. So you can give the key, it will fetch the value of that key. Which key you have given, that value you will get it. That's the get property method. See, get property is a return type method. What is the return type? String. It returns the string value. It returns the string value. So that's the return type methods, get property. And one more is that you can write the data with a set property. You can first use set the value, key and value, and then you write it. There is a store method is there. Store and writer, you can write that this stored the setting value, you can write to the files. That's the store method, another one important. So these are all the methods important, other than that nothing. But last one, difference between collections and streams. Streams is the one of the famous feature introduced in the collections Java 8. There are many Java 8 features are there. One of the famous feature is streams. So, but for our automation, you don't need that much. So that's why I'll just give the difference. Then we can close this and we'll go for the programs on the properties how you can create the properties file, how you can read the data from properties file. That program will write it. So collections are mainly used to store and group the data. Streams are mainly used to perform operations on the data. So collection data, on the collection data, you can perform the operations with the streams concept. You can add or remove elements from the collection, but you cannot add or remove elements from the streams. You can do only operations like filtering, you can sort, all these things you can do with the streams. So already data, if you want to store, you need to use collections concept. Collections have to be iterated externally, but streams are internally iterated. Automatically it will iterate using streams, all these collections. Collections can be traversed multiple times, but streams are traversed only one time. Collections are eagerly constructed, streams are lazily constructed. So these are the methods: filtering, mapping, matching, all these methods are there. So these you will use on the collection only, but these are the concepts, right? Collections concept: list to, set to, map. So that's all about collection. I have given all the programs also here. You can go through that. And let's see how you can write these programs, okay? So I'll show you. So how to create a properties file? So properties file has a dot properties extension. So generally text file has a dot txt, right? Doc file has a docx, right? XLS has a dot XLSX. Same properties file has a dot properties extension, file name dot properties. The extension of properties file is dot properties. Then how can you read that? So how can you read that data? So let me show you how to read the data. That method also I'll explain before loading that. It will read the data from properties file using properties class. You have to create a first step. You have to create a object for properties class. So you have to create an object for properties class. You create object for properties class. Create object for properties class. Map programs. See, you have to create object for properties class. This is how you can create it. So how to create a file? Any file, you can create a right click on any package, new in the Eclipse, file, and give the file name dot properties. Then finish it. This is how you can create the properties file in the Eclipse. So then you can store the data like this. So key value, key value, key value, key value, key value. So how to read this? For example, I want this URL. How can I get this URL? So this is the program you need to write. So this straightforward method you can write. Properties, prop equal to new properties. First create the object for properties class. Okay. Then read the properties file. How you can read? So you can read the properties file using file input stream fis equal to new file input stream. So this file input stream class is used to read the properties file. System.get property user.dir. This will give you your current working directory path. Where this current working directory is there, working project is there, that path it will give. Then where you kept your test data dot properties file, that path you give. Automatically it will read. Then load this properties, prop dot load, and give this FAS object here. Then prop dot get property and give the key name. The key name if you give, they will get a value. So URL value, prop dot get property URL you give. Prop dot get property you name. Prop dot get property, like that you can give. And even you can set the value also. So whatever the value you want, you can set that also. So this is how you can set the value in that. Okay. So let's see that how you can set it. Okay. So we'll see that. So I think it is loaded. Eclipse is loaded. Let's go on. So I'll just create. I think already we have properties collections. See properties. So let me show you how to create a properties file. So new, you have to give new file. So if you don't have file, you go to other, then you will get the file option there. In the under general, you will get the file option. Select the file option and give the file name, and extension you have to give dot properties. So then the file will be created. In the file you store data, key value pair. Key value pair you can store. See here I am not seeing file option. Go to other. So search here file option. Just search here file. See, you will get it. Under general file you will get. Select this. Click on next. So now you give the file name. See this file name. So test data dot properties. Already data is there. I'm giving test data dot properties. See, the file is created here. File is created. So you can store all the data. So app URL equal to https to linkedin.com. Any URL you can give. Okay. Then browser equal to, I'm giving Chrome browser. Later, if you want, you can change anything. Okay. Later, if you want, you can change anything. So username equal to rameshn3@gmail.com. So password you can give whatever you want. Okay. So it's up to you. Okay. So then, so DB details, database details. If you want, you can give DB host name equal to test.db.com, and DB port. If you want, you can give 1521. So DB SID you can give ORCL. This is Oracle database. I have details I'm giving. DB. So details, other DB details you can provide. DB port, DB host name, DB SID, DB username. If you want, you can give DB username Scott, and DB password I can give Tiger. So these are the some properties you can store like this. So this value can be changed anything. This value can change anything, but this key should be common. Key should be fixed. So how you can read this data, this properties file data in your programs? How you can read? So let me show you that. So I'll create one class. Already we created a class. Let me show you that. So read properties file data. Read properties file data. Properties demo. This is the properties demo. I am creating a reusable method, or otherwise you can so write same directly like this. But I'll create a reusable method. Okay. Let me create a reusable method. You can use anywhere this method. See, already created a reusable method. Public. So this. See, read the data from properties file. Okay. So we are writing a, see, the parameter is key and the return type. This method is a return type method. String type data returning, and throws IO exception it is throwing. See, public static string read property value, and you give the input as a key. So these are the keys, all the keys. What are all the keys? App URL is the one key. Browser is another key. User uname is another key. PWD is another key. DB host name is another key. So DB port is another key. DB SID is another key. These are all keys. That key name you give for this method. For this method, automatically it will get the value, and the value will be written to you. What type of data it returns? String type data. What is the first step? Create object for properties class. Create object for properties class. Properties prop equal to new properties. Then string current working directory. What is my current working directory? So what is my current working directory? Java training May 19, 2022. This is the current working directory, right? This directory. So you will get this directory by system.get property method. User.dir if you give, it will get the current working directory and it will store here. It will store here. So file f equal to new file, this current working directory plus, where is my file? My file is under SRC, collection programs. Here it is there. This is the path now. This entire path is given by this system.get property. This will give you till project. Then rest of the thing I'm appending SRC. This is the one. See, project after what is there? Then SRC. Then SRC after what is there? Collection programs. Under this folder, you have this test data.properties that I have to give. So file f equal to new file. So I'm representing my file. So see that I have to give my properties file. What is the test data, right? Test data.properties. So the complete file name I have given. Test data.properties. I have given the file name. Now, file input stream object I am creating, FIS. So try catch block, I mean, I'll tell you this after this class, okay? FIS equal to new file input stream. I'm creating object for this class. Creating object for the file input stream class. So to read the file. See, this is the file it is representing, file object. That file object I need to pass for the new file stream class. This is the parameterizer constructor we are calling. Then next step, load all the properties. Prop.load. So FIS. So after loading, I can read. I return prop.get property and whatever the key you are giving, that key you are pass it. So automatically it will read the data and it will return to you. So this all try catch blocks is this is the so exception handling. So exception handling we are going to see after this class now. So now I'm reading. So I'm calling this method. See, I'm calling this return type method. So return type static method I'm calling. How you can call? Let's see this. System.out.println browser value is read property value browser. So read property value app URL, read property value username. So you can give any, right? URL is app. So app URL, how you have given this. So exactly you have to give this one. Same thing you have to give here also. So you should not deviate. So uname and DB host name, right? We are given DB host name. So this is a DB host name. The key, exactly you have to give key. The method, return type method I'm calling DB host. So like this, any value you can get from the properties file. Tomorrow, code changes also, you don't need to worry about that. So username value. And this one is password value, I'll get it. Right, see, I have to give uname, and this is the PWD. Just, so this one, uname is the, this uname is this one, uname PWD. So that I'm giving. So uname and PWD we are giving. Okay. So like this, you can, oh, already we have given here uname. I'll give a different one here. So what is the DB username? I'll give DB port, otherwise DB port, DB uname. So let me see. What is the DB uname? I can give DB password. So DB password. So DB PWD. So like this, you can get any data. See, then you don't need to change this code. So you can go and change the data in the properties file. See, now browser value is Chrome, right? I'll go and change the, so URL is the LinkedIn. I'll change all this data, username and the password, all I will change this. See, I'll change this data. See, I'll give facebook.com. but I don't need to change my code. Facebook.com. Then I'll change this Firefox browser. See how easy it is. You don't need to modify. Ramesh QA online. Then I can change even the port also. 1526. Whatever it is. You change here and save it and come back and execute it. See, you are not changing anything in the program. You're changing only in the properties file. See, all the new data, you got it. See, you got a new data, everything new data, you will get it. So this is how you will read the data from properties file. This method you need to remember. This method you need to remember. All the steps. First step, create object for properties file. Then get the current working directory. How can you get the current working directory? System class dot get property method and give user.dir. That means what this will do, current working directory it will give. I don't know whether it is, we will print this. So you will come to know what is the current working directory. So current project directory. What is the current project directory? This is the one. Current working directory. So this is the one, current working directory. I'm printing. So let's see, you execute it. Now you'll get the path, exact path of your project, where your project is stored. See your project. See, can you see here? So every time it is printing. D Eclipse workspace. See, this is the one. Workspace location and Java training main ID. So the path it is giving that. So that's the advantage of this system.get property. You don't need to hard code. You don't need to worry about your project directory path where it is. See D workspace and your project name. This is the project name. The project name is specifying here very clearly. The project name you are giving. Okay. So that's how you can so get the project directory with the system.get property of user.dir. So you don't need to hard code. You don't need to right click on the project and take the path. So you don't need to right click. See, this is the path, right? Same path is given by this system.get property of user.dir. Clear? So that's the whole collections. Other than that, we don't need much on these collections, right? So let me stop the recording. The collection